Hello, everyone. I all hope you had a beautiful weekend and a very great day ahead. Today, we'll be talking about the robot universe. The robot universe has been at war with itself for over centuries and centuries. With the resistance, robots have been fighting against the resistance. The resistance have been fighting against the robots, the nano children, who are the AI, the most powerful cybernetic beings of the robot universe. They've been exactly trying to reconquer the entire robot universe for centuries. In the early centuries, when Laurel formed the first alliance with the sacred families, he and the other members of the alliance went to the robot universe to try and create the peace that the two forces have been fighting for over centuries. Unfortunately, things didn't take things didn't turn out that way. The alliance was forced to combat against the robots and the machines and all its masters, including the nano children and also the nano witches. They waged war with the dark druids and all with the other dark faithful and dark witches, in doing so exactly trying to remove the control over the robot universe. But the former alliance succeeded with the mission and was able to exactly pass phase with the next step of restoring peace and balance to the robot universe. In transgression, the robot universe itself is a universe such a Milky Way that's on a very far deeper edges on throughout the known universe and a very 38 decaphones years away and meaning quietly far away from the sacred universe. It has no magical orb that's protecting it. It's very quietly well seen. The Milky Way of it is quietly well seen and quietly seen and quietly heard of. Its worlds throughout the Milky Way are at war with each other. The civilizations with the robots and with the masters known as the Nano Children, the Nano Witches, and the Doctors and the Dark Faithful, and the Dark Witches assist each other to destroy and take out the resistance. Within over the centuries, the war between the two sides has been going on and going on. Two sides both suffered heavy casualties, have suffered enormous casualties on both sides. The resistance and the forces of evil couldn't exactly easily survive because they both quietly managed to get an even ground on both sides. But an ancient supervillain known as the Dark King came on the robot universe, searching for the ways to conquer the known universe and all the other sacred universe after the former alliances did its work. The Dark King created an alliance with the robotics, with the nano children, and with the dark druids, and with the dark witches, and with the nano children, and all the other aspects of them, in order to exactly use their resources for his personal schemes and for his personal missions. Since Laurel quietly destroyed his powers and all of his assets by doing so exactly, the Dark King would seize more power with his secret society of supervillains, with Dark Red by his side and with all the other villains by his side. After the Dark King left and forming an alliance with the Nano Children, with the Dark Druids, and with the Dark Witches, and with the Dark Faithful, and all the other forces of evil within the Robotics Children, the Resistance began building statues of their heroes, known as Laurel, the Four Nation Hunter families, known as the Hellfire, Starwood, Ferris, Unity, Smith, and also the other families of the sacred universe, able to exactly honor them as their true saviors and as their true heroes. Of the past few centuries since the Ruler Magic's death, the robotics universe and its war has come to a climax when the universal heroes and the Ruler Magic were waging war with each other. The war between the two sides has become a climax when the resistance offered peace with the robotics, and the robotics quietly began to change their ways by betraying their masters. Their masters started creating a powerful, sinister syndicate, an operation of transporting super soldiers known as superhuman, a race of beings with extraordinary superpowers, with powers of teleportation, some with magic, some with fire, some with ice, some with water, some with the ability to create sonic and sounds, and some with heat vision, and some with loud see through who can see through X-rays, and some with freeze breath, using an army of superhumans to traffic them across the known universe as a syndicate in order to exactly expand their empire and their ruling. They even began partnering up with the Shadow Empire, since the Shadow Empire is meaning chaos. They started forming alliance with the Shadow Empire, using the syndicate as a way to transport these children and these supernatural weapons into their own cause in order to power up for their own ambition. The Shadow Empire agreed to this treaty and to this pact that they'll exactly associate with one another in order to enslave the known universe and the sacred world and the sacred universe. After 3 years or 4 years of the Universal Heroes' disappearance against a war with the dark villain known as Dark Master, the robotics universe and the Resistance and the rest of the Intergalactic Coalition started working together to take down this sinister syndicate and operation that's been affecting the robotics universe and the sacred universe for over a year and over years. By doing so, exactly they're able to exactly neutralize the threats of the forces by destroying the forces of evil's forces and all the nano children's forces, and by keeping all the villains, such as by fighting super villains such as Showface and also Black Mask and also the Dark Druids and the Dark Witches, and as well as the nano children who are the masters of the syndicate, by taking them down once and for all. The Shadow Empire warlords, known as Commander Sky, who is a member of the Order of the Six, another sinister organization ruled by alien villains who aim to conquer planet Earth for their own selfish goals. Commander Sky was a very commanding Sky who was a very commanding leader of the syndicate and part of the operation. Its first phase of extermination, all loose ends and all part of his. He used his growing fleet to launch an attack against the Intergalactic Coalition and waging war with the heroes once and for all, while the Universal Space Heroes were trying to exactly pursue peace with the Universal Heroes' disappearance quietly gone. The Resistance from the robotics universe helped as much as possible as they can to maintain the peace on both universes and all other worlds, while Mr. X and Mr. Ace were tarnishing the reputation of the Universal Heroes. The Universal Space Heroes were forced to take the huge responsibility with the help of the Alliance and the insurgents in order to restore peace and balance throughout the robotics universe with all the hunters by their side. By doing so exactly, they restored peace throughout the known robotics universe and exactly managed to disrupt the operation that the villains have created and caused in order to exactly create war, tensions, and like tensions across other planets, such as the black side of the sacred worlds and planet Omega and planet Zero and planet Sacred and all the other planets that were able to exactly be fueled by the attention of the syndicate and the operation that the villains have been running throughout sacred space and throughout outer space. The Universal Space Heroes managed to shut it down with help of their resistance and with their insurgents, and given the fact that we're able to possibly exactly to succeed. Without any other district attorney, the resistance, the insurgents of the robotic universe are very kind people. They don't have superpowers or super abilities. Some have the ability to exactly connect with the robots and all the other robotic beings, and some are part robot, some are part android, and they are the most powerful heroes who they are the robotics heroes who've been exactly fighting for peace and change throughout the robotics universe by fighting against the villains known as the nano children, the dark witches, the dark druids, the dark faithful, and also the evil dark king, who's an ancient supervillain who leads another secret society of supervillains known as the Founders to seize control of planet Earth. Given the stats of this, the robotic universe it was once a peaceful harmony universe before the supervillains arrived and changed it into a war zone in order to seize control of it and all of its worlds and all of its planets. But its heroes and its resistance were exactly fighting through the tooth and nail to make sure that doesn't happen. At any given cost, they prevented the syndicates, the trafficking, the operations of the supervillains, and all forces of evil from seizing control and tightening up their grip. They even clashed with Dark Master, who is a very powerful villain who wants to seize control of the five planets of the sacred world and of the sacred universe and even the robotic universe itself. With the help of the Universal Heroes Return, now if the battle, the tide of the battle started changing quickly and very quietly good, able to exactly reverse the damage that the villains have caused and also reverse the peace and restore the peace that the forces of evil have damaged in the process with their operations and with their syndicates. By doing so, the superhuman race was free to live on any other world in any other planet, and the Intergalactic Coalition and the Resistance decided it's best that they form an alliance together with the Universal Space Hero, with the Sacred Team, and all the other heroes. No matter the cost of this, the robotic universe is very far away. It's unprotected by magic or any other magical aspects or powers, but it is still very far away. It's on the very, very, very far edges of the sacred universe. Not exactly close, but it's twice as far away. It's not exactly protected by the orb, but it has an orb of its own. But the magic there is no magic there. But except that the robotics universe is very quietly different. Even the Lord of Magic himself tried to reconquer it and rule it in order to search for immortality and the secrets of immortality, but he quietly couldn't succeed or exactly make any progress with his mission since he was slandered in death and quietly destroyed. Well, this is the robotics universe history. It's exactly been ruled by its former founders and leaders of the species many, many centuries ago. The Children of Destiny changed its fates and its wars, managed to exactly restore peace by fighting against the forces of evil, against the evil Children of Destiny who tried to seize control of it. But the war between the two sides ended. They were not exactly founded or quietly unheard of. This is the early history of the robotics universe, which started changing and affecting the history of the present world, the robotics universe, even now. Even now, the Universal Heroes and the Intergalactic Coalition and Universal Space Heroes and Universal Defenders are working together with the Resistance to restore the peace and harmony of the robotics universe, given the fact of its history and its early history, by fighting the forces of evil and other supervillains such as Ghostmaster, Showface, Golden Knight, Metalface, Mr. X, Mr. Ace, the Nano Children, the Dark Witches, the Dark Druids, the Dark Faithful, and also the robotics, the evil robotics children who are trying to seize control and aiming to use the resources at their disposal to seize control of the robotics universe at any given cost with the help of the Dark Druids and the Dark Witches and the Dark Faithful. They're not willing to stop at any cost, but the Universal Heroes and the Universal Space Heroes and also the other heroes and the Resistance and the Insurgents are determined enough to restore peace and balance, no matter what. Well, that's it, folks. I all hope you have a beautiful day or have a beautiful day and a very great day ahead. Goodbye.